Imagine if you could master the voice in your head, that endless chatter dictating your mood, your confidence, and even your happiness. What if you could turn it into a tool for success instead of a source of self-doubt? In that little voice in your head, Mo Gawdat, former chief business officer at Google, unlocks the secrets to rewiring your brain for joy, fulfillment, and clarity. Through his unique blend of neuroscience, personal anecdotes, and practical techniques, Gawdat empowers us to harness our thoughts and build a life we love. By the end of this summary, you will understand how to identify and control negative thought patterns, the mechanics of happiness, and practical tools to silence self-doubt and amplify positivity. Let's dive into the key lessons from each chapter of this transformative book. Chapter 1. Meet that little voice. Mo Gawdat begins by introducing the concept of the voice in your head. That constant mental narration that critiques, doubts, and sometimes paralyzes us. He likens this voice to a mischievous roommate who never leaves. Most people operate on autopilot, unaware of how much influence their internal voice has on their decisions and emotions. The first step is recognizing this voice exists. Gawdat explains that the brain is a survival machine designed to identify threats. Unfortunately, it often creates false alarms, interpreting everyday challenges as crises. By becoming aware of this mechanism, we can start to separate ourselves from the chatter. He emphasizes that awareness is the first and most critical step toward mastering your thoughts. Key takeaway: you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. One impactful moment in this chapter is when Gawdat recounts how he allowed his inner voice to convince him to play it safe, only to later realize how much joy and growth he'd missed out on. This story serves as a reminder of the power of stepping outside our comfort zones. By simply observing this inner dialogue without judgment, we gain the power to choose better responses. Chapter 2. The Science of Happiness. What makes us happy? Gawdat delves into the formula he first introduced in his bestseller, Solve for Happy. He simplifies happiness into a manageable equation. Happiness equals reality minus expectations. Much of our unhappiness stems from unrealistic or uncommunicated expectations of ourselves, others, and life. The voice in your head magnifies the gap between reality and expectations, fueling dissatisfaction. By learning to adjust either your expectations or your perception of reality, you can significantly shift your happiness levels. Gawdat emphasizes that happiness isn't about getting what you want, but aligning your mindset with what is. Key takeaway: happiness equals reality minus expectations. Adjust either and you'll find joy. One impactful moment is when Gawdat shares a personal story about recalibrating his expectations after experiencing loss. By accepting what couldn't be changed, he found peace amidst pain. This chapter also highlights the importance of gratitude as a way to bridge the gap between reality and expectations, urging readers to practice daily appreciation for what they already have. Chapter 3. Tame the negative voice. The negative voice in our head thrives on repetition. In this chapter, Gawdat introduces practical strategies to challenge and neutralize it. One method is to fact-check your thoughts. Is the negative thought true? Ask for evidence. Another technique is to replace negative narratives by countering a self-critical thought with a compassionate one. For example, replace "I'll fail" with "I'll try my best and learn." Additionally, creating distance by naming the voice in your head, such as calling it Bob or Sally, helps detach from its power. These small practices collectively diminish the influence of negativity over time. Key takeaway: your thoughts are not facts. Treat them as opinions, some worth keeping, others worth discarding. An impactful moment in this chapter is Gawdat's humorous analogy comparing his inner voice to an overzealous sports commentator. This light-hearted comparison helps readers see their thoughts as entertaining, but not always reliable. Gawdat also stresses the importance of repetition in building new mental habits, encouraging readers to practice these techniques consistently for lasting change. Chapter 4. The Power of Positivity. Positive thoughts can be cultivated just like a muscle. Gawdat suggests starting with small daily practices like gratitude. Begin each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for, which shifts focus from what's missing to what's abundant. Visualization is another powerful tool. Imagine your best self and mentally rehearse success. This practice rewires your brain by strengthening pathways aligned with your goals. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but choosing to focus on solutions and opportunities. Key takeaway: happiness isn't something you find, it's something you train for. One impactful moment is when Gawdat shares how his gratitude practice helped him navigate the darkest days after losing his son, Ali. His resilience is a testament to the transformative power of focusing on what remains rather than what is lost. He also emphasizes the role of optimism in shaping outcomes, urging readers to approach life with hope and curiosity. Chapter 5. Rewrite your internal story. The stories we tell ourselves shape our identity. This chapter focuses on spotting limiting beliefs and rewriting them into empowering narratives. Gawdat encourages readers to identify internal scripts that hold them back, such as, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." By replacing these with affirmations like, "I'm improving every day," you create a new, empowering identity. This process requires reflection and persistence, but yields profound results over time. Key takeaway: your past does not define you. Your mindset about the past does. An impactful moment in this chapter is when Gawdat describes overcoming his fear of public speaking. By rewriting his internal narrative from "I'll embarrass myself" to "I have something valuable to share," he was able to step confidently into opportunities. This chapter also highlights how small, consistent changes in self-talk can lead to major shifts in how we perceive ourselves and our potential. Chapter 6. The Art of Letting Go. Letting go is a superpower. Gawdat explains how attachment to outcomes, people, or the past fuels inner turmoil. He introduces key techniques such as acceptance, which involves acknowledging reality without resistance, and surrendering control, which focuses on actions rather than outcomes. By letting go, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and make space for growth and joy. Key takeaway: freedom comes from letting go, not holding tighter. One impactful moment in this chapter is Gawdat's analogy of holding a hot coal. The tighter you grip, the more it burns. This simple metaphor resonates deeply, illustrating how clinging to control often causes more harm than good. Gawdat also shares practical exercises for practicing detachment, such as mindfulness meditations and journaling. Chapter 7. Living with Intention. In the final chapter, Gawdat ties everything together with actionable advice for living an intentional life. He urges readers to define their core values and align daily actions with what truly matters. Practicing mindfulness helps us stay present, as the voice in your head thrives on regrets about the past or worries about the future. By focusing on intentional living, we create a life filled with meaning and purpose. Key takeaway: an intentional life is a fulfilled life. An impactful moment is Gawdat's closing words, a heartfelt invitation to choose happiness every day. His reminder that happiness is a choice, not a destination, leaves a lasting impression. The chapter also includes practical tips like setting clear priorities and regularly reflecting on your progress to ensure you're living in alignment with your values. Closing: that little voice in your head is more than a book. It's a toolkit for reclaiming your inner peace. By mastering your thoughts, you can transform self-doubt into self-assurance, negativity into gratitude, and chaos into calm. Which lesson resonated most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's start a conversation about silencing that little voice in our heads.